morning. I'm Hylton Karon, President and CEO of iFabric Corp, and I am pleased to announce our Q3 results for June 30th, 2021. I'm very pleased to announce that we had a return to profitability of our intimate apparel division, and with both divisions now back operating in a profitable manner, we saw significant turnaround in our earnings. With increased turnover and attention to margin, I think that these results illustrate what we can do as a company when the world is, as we say, returning to normal. There is still an overhanging of COVID in the economy, and we have to be a little bit cautious as we go forward to ensure that we continue to go with this trajectory. And retailers have reopened, and these results show what we can do in these times. However, we are cautious with COVID, as I say, hanging over the global economy as to whether the momentum continues, and we surely hope it does. For the highlights, for our 9-month highlight, our revenues for the 9 months ending June 30th, 2021 were $14,559,000 compared to $8,063,000 for the same period in 2020, which represents an increase of $6,495,000 or 81%. Gross profit for the 9 months increased by 111% or $3,200,000 to $6,092,000, 42% for the year to date, compared to $2,888,000 or 36% for the same period in 2020. Our adjusted EBITDA for the 9 months amounted to $2,880,000 compared to a negative adjusted EBITDA last year of $451,000, an increase of $3,331,000. Net earnings after tax attributed to iFabric shareholders during the 9 months was $2,166,000, 7.8 cents a share basic, 7.5 cents a share diluted, compared to a net loss of $974,000 or 3.7 cents per share basic and diluted for the 9 months of the prior year, 2020. This is an increase of $3,141,000. The specifics of the last quarter, the highlights are our revenue in Q3 amounted to $4,155,000 compared to $3,214,000 for Q3 2020. It represents a 29% increase, and in dollars, that's $941,000. Revenues in the intimate apparel division increased by 468% or $1,478,000 compared to $1,794,000 from $315,000 in Q3 2020. This huge increase in the intimate apparel division was primarily attributed to my prior comment that the retailers in the US have reopened and have lifted the COVID restrictions. Revenues for the quarter in the Intelligent Fabrics division decreased by 18% or $506,000 to $2,333,000 from $2,839,000 in 2020. And this was attributed mainly to the low margin mask business that has been saturated in the global market supply chain, and we chose to decrease our participation in low margin business, and hence we stayed with the more impressive margin of the division. The overall company percentage growth for the quarter, our percentage of revenue, our GP for revenue was 48% compared to 30% GP in Q3 2020. The increase again was as a result of better product mix for the quarter and higher intimate apparel sales that I already mentioned, as well as high margin chemical sales in the IFTNA division. Gross profit increased by 111% to $1,059,000 in the increase to a total of $2,013,000 from $954,000 for Q3 2020. Net earnings before tax was $854,000 compared to a loss of $634,000 in 2020, representing a turnaround of $1,489,000. Adjusted EBITDA of $900,000 compared to a negative EBITDA of $93,000 in Q3 2020 represents an increase of $993,000. I think that gives the highlights of the quarter and the 9 months to date. It is worth mentioning that we've exceeded our entire year's sales in less than 9 months of this year as we return to a more normalized global economy. We're showing what both divisions can do when they both are profitable. We're seeing increased demand in our major markets. I should point out that the Canadian market is lagging behind the US market, so we're starting to see that return to a more normalized demand as well. So we anticipate a stronger draw-off in the next few quarters as Canada reopens from COVID restrictions. We've announced some new partnerships and programs with new retailers and new customers in new market segments. So we continue with our strategy to gain market leaders who are appreciating in what we tend to call the post-COVID world of what we're bringing to their products to enhance their products. And I think that with the launch of our own apparel line in the not too distant future as well, we see significant growth opportunities in both our direct to consumer sales, as well as our continued sale to third-party customers, both in the chemical and finished product areas. These are impressive turnaround numbers. We believe that this trajectory will only continue in the future. Thank you for your time.